Hi there, welcome to JavaScript series and I'm Diksha Sharma from bonsaiilabs. Today we are going to see from where exactly these so-called JavaScript timers coming from. Is setTimeout and setInterval part of ECMAScript or is it an HTML standard? Let's dive in to see what's the truth. setTimeout and setInterval are methods available to us in browser and also in Node runtime. They provide a way to schedule a callback after a period of time. Clear timeout and clear interval cancels the timeout and time intervals that were previously established by setTimeout and setInterval methods. But the question is where these timer implementations are coming from. Are they coming from ECMAScript and JavaScript engines implement them, or they are part of HTML standard spec where browsers own the responsibility of implementing them? The answer is they are not part of ECMAScript. They're part of HTML standard specification that laid down the stepwise algorithms that browsers should use to implement these timer methods. Here is the HTML5 specification from W3C that described the steps indicating how setTimeout and setInterval methods should behave. Also, if you are curious, you may want to check out this ECMAScript specification, which does not deal with timers. I've added the link for both of these documentations for you to have a look at. Now comes the main part. How do browsers implement these timer methods? Now, Chrome, Mozilla, and Safari use their own rendering engines called Blink, Gecko, and Webkit. These rendering engines do a lot of work to bring the contents of a web page on the screen that we see. One of the responsibilities of a rendering engine is to implement the spec of the web platform, which includes HTML standard, DOM, CSS, and WebIDL. So in short, it's the rendering engines sitting in the browser code that implement timers and not the JavaScript engines. All of the rendering engines are open source, so I've added the GitHub links to the classes that implements the timers. Feel free to check them out. I believe the next question in your head would be, if timers are part of HTML spec, then how can I use setTimeout and setInterval when running the server-side code using Node.js? This is because Node.js provides its own timer functions that implement a pretty similar API, just like you see in web browsers. So the timers are not part of V8 JavaScript engine embedded by Node. They are internal implementation by Node itself. Again, I've added the link to the official documentation and GitHub class for timers in Node.js codebase. You may want to give it a read. Alright, if you found this video useful, be sure to subscribe, and until then, keep learning and share your knowledge. I'll see you in the next video.